So can you see my screen?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So one thing, let me know, should I start from the beginning? Like,
No, just kind of do glance it through. If I go through my notes and everything, I should be okay. I just need some time, but just like kind of go through like a basic things, and I should be okay. I mean, it's not like I don't remember anything. It's just that I've forgotten. I haven't practiced, so I cannot tell you exactly what the codes are. Um,
okay, okay,
but
no,
I understood everything. I just you can go through like a small things,
okay,
and then we can start. I just need to go through the notes.
okay, you can go through. So first
Hmm.
thing, when we need to show some output on our string,
Yeah.
out on screen, we use
Yeah.
print statement, as we know. So we can write anything in our print statement, like let's say print 23, and if I run it, so
Hmm.
simply we can get the answer on our terminal screen, like
23.
23. But if we have to print any string, so it must be under quotation, let's say hello.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is how can we get the answer on our output screen.
Right.
Then we have learned how can we create variables, like if I create a variable as number equal, and I can assign any number
Hmm.
and any other number, let's say number 2, and I can assign any numbers. I
Hmm.
can add, subtract, multiply, division, and so on.
Hmm.
Simply I can uh, print the sum of both numbers, like number uh, sorry, number plus number 1, number 2.
Hmm.
And then if I run it, so simply we can get the answer on our output screen, like 68. Also, I can take the input in our variables. For input, we use input. Then in input form, we can write anything like enter a number.
Hmm.
Then in second variable, we can take another number.
Hmm.
Now if I run it, it's asking me enter a number, let's say 3, and sorry, enter another number. Okay, so it just print the first number, I think,
Right.
because we have print number 1 plus
Number one
number
plus
2.
number two. Yeah, so it's just showing three
Here,
enter together.
yes, yes, because here I need to take input.
Mm.
Okay, now if I run it, so enter a number, let's say 4, enter another number, let's say 5. So
Mm.
it get me the answer 45. So do you
Right. It's
remember?
not. Yeah, it's not like we need to. Yeah. I think plus for plus. I don't remember. We have to do something. I remember that, but
Right. Because by
yeah.
default, when we take input, it's supposed to be as a string.
You're right.
So,
It's not gonna do the math. Yeah.
right. So here, if I enter 4, so it's supposed to be an string. And
Right.
for 5 also, it's also a string. For make
Mm-hmm.
it integer or any float, we need to define like integer for int,
Mm-hmm.
use the bracket for integer, and here also int
Mm-hmm.
int, then open bracket and also close here. Then if I run it, now it's asking me enter a number. Let's say I'm giving the same number 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Now here is the summation of 4 and 5 is 9. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also I can give any other data type like float. Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember what the data types are?
Yeah, integer flow. I don't remember actually. But if you, as soon as you'll tell me, I'll remember.
Okay. So here, I ask the user, he has to input a float number. Float could be like, if you remember, decimal point, like
Decimal,
2.5.
decimal points. Right,
Yes.
right, right, right. Decimal.
So now if I enter, let's say, enter a number. If I enter 5,
Right,
so there is no decimal point with 5.
right,
And
right.
if I number 6, so 5 plus 6 equals 11. So by default, it
Yeah.
takes point
Takes
0
the point zero.
and to make it float. Also, I can
Right.
give any decimal number like 4.5 and
Mhm. But
6.8.
if we put integer, then it's not gonna take the decimal numbers, right?
Right. If
Let's
we
say I put it's integer and then I put 4.5, then it's just gonna take the 4, right?
No, it's not gonna take the. Sorry,
What is it gonna do?
can you repeat your
Yeah.
call?
So let's say we instead of float, we write integer, right?
Okay,
And
here.
then we put integer, and then instead of putting so then we put 4.5,
Uh, I think you are asking, let's say, if I enter as integer here, as you can
right?
see.
Yeah,
Now, if I run it, now if I
yeah,
enter, let's say 4.5,
4.5.
so
What's gonna happen?
it's gonna
Yeah, yeah, that's
error,
what I want to say.
invalid error. Okay, so
Okay,
invalid
just gonna be invalid.
because
Right,
because
right.
uh so to solve this problem, because we don't know what kind of number
Mhm,
user going to input. So to
mhm,
solve this problem, by default, we can take as float, because let's say 4 is supposed to be 4.0, something like.
mhm. Yeah, it's easier that way so that there's no problem.
Yeah. So we have different data types. And let's say I'm creating a variable, let's A, and I assign any value, let's say hello.
Mm,
Then I'm creating a variable as B. I can assign any other data type. Then I'm creating a variable as C, and I can assign, let's say,
mhm,
true.
mhm,
Then I can take any, let's say, 4. So how can we check the data types of,
mhm,
so simply I can write print,
mhm,
then type. So which variable data type I want to check, let's say A. So simply I can write A.
mhm,
Simply also I want to check the data type of B, then C, then D. Okay, now let's
mhm,
run it. So the first one is a string, as you can see, hello under quotation is a string.
mhm.
Then the second one is integer, and the third one is Boolean. Do you remember the Boolean? True and
Yeah,
false.
yeah, 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 a little bit.
Okay. So then it's a decimal point. So as you can see, 45.6, it's float.
Uh-huh.
What happen if I put every thing under quotation? Let's see.
It becomes exchange, right?
Yes, and the data type will be changed. So what should it be, the data type? Like a string or integer or float?
A string,
Okay, now
right?
let's run it. Now every variable has the same data type as a string, because everything under quotation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I can use a double quotation mark. Let's say I'm creating a variable as word,
Mhm,
and I can assign any value. Also,
mhm,
I can use this is double quotation mark. Okay.
mhm,
I can write hello, and if I
mhm.
run it, the answer will be same.
Mm.
Mm,
Word.
word 2.
Mhm,
Now, in this, I am going to write the same sentence or any word to
mhm,
show you what's the difference.
mhm,
Print, I can print word, then in other, I can print the word too. Now, if I run it, So as you can see on my output screen, there is no difference,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
The first one is hello, the second one is hello. So
Yeah.
by using different quotation, there's no difference. We can use double quotation or single quotation,
Mhm.
but we cannot use the same quotation under the quotation. Example, let's say hello, I can write we are learning, let's say Python. Now, if I want to put the word Python in quotation on my output
Uh-huh.
screen, if I use the same quotation as I
Mhm.
have used here, double quotation for make it
Right.
string. If
Uh-huh.
I put the same quotation for the word Python,
Right. It's not gonna work.
so it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
So
it's
if
gonna
I
miss.
run it, so as you can see, it's getting the syntax error. So if
Mm-hmm.
we want to show the quotation under the quotation, we can use the alternate quotation mark like single quotation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For this, we can take the same example. We are learning Python. So there is the same concept. I cannot use the single quotation under the single quotation, like nested. So for this, I can use the double quotation mark
Mm.
under single quotation mark. If I run it, so now here we are learning Python. The first one, as you can see, is single quotation, and the second was under double quotation mark. This is how can we solve this problem. Let's say if I want to put my sentence quotation mark to highlight it, so I can do so. Okay. Then we have discussed, uh, let's suppose I'm creating data of a person. Let's say I have to store a name, so simply I can make a variable as name. Remember
Mhm.
one thing, when we create
Yeah.
variables, so the name of the variable should be relatable to the data we are storing. Let's say if I am storing a name of a person, so I should write the variable name as name. Instead of name, I can write also n, but it will
Mm.
be confused what n represents.
Yeah.
So I can write as name. So here I can store any value or I can take any input from the user. Let's say I am taking the input.
Mhm.
Can you please wait? Let me check if recording is
Yeah, you did turn it on.
okay.
Yeah, I got a notification.
Okay, so we can take input.
Mhm.
Then I can write any sentence like enter your name. Then let's say I want to take age, so I can write age. So here I can take simple. Let me just show you. I can take direct input because
Mm.
I don't have to work on the age because I don't need to calculate age like addition, multiplication, subtraction because age is just a number. We have to just take it.
Mhm.
So we can take it as integer, but if we know we don't need to calculate it and do not have to perform any mathematical operation,
Right.
so we can take it as a string.
We don't have to.
Enter your age. Also, I can like gender, enter your gender. Let's say a boolean. I can take let's say extra class.
Mm.
Let's suppose he is a student, so I can. Now, if I want to let's say if I want to create extra and class. So as you can see, it's underlined red and
Mm.
yellow. So there is something
So no
wrong.
gap. Yeah.
So if I want to separate my uh,
Yeah.
variable, so I need to use underscore.
Underscore.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now I can assign any value. So here I can let's say take input. uh, I can ask, do you take any extra class, like
Mm.
anything we can write. So
Mhm.
now I want to print it. Simply I can use print. So there are two methods. How can we print? So do you remember how can we print different variables and the string
Um,
together?
yeah, input, print. I think name, first in quotation, I think we put name.
Okay, so in quotation, okay, then
Yeah, name.
name. Okay,
I think so. No, actually, I might be wrong.
okay, no
Int.
problem. Let's suppose
Yeah,
if let's say I print all the variables together. So let's say name. Now I want to print the age, so I need to
right.
separate it by comma.
With the two dots, the colon, right?
No,
Comma. Oh, comma, right?
comma,
Comma, comma,
comma, not
comma, the
colon.
comma,
Then I
colon, right?
can use age,
Age, right?
then I get gender,
Yes.
then the other one is,
Extra class.
okay, so now I can print
Printed
it. So enter your name. It could be
with
any,
comma.
let's say,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, just with comma. Right? That's what I was just trying to.
Uh,
If,
age,
without
let's
the.
say 12, enter your gender, male, extra card, let's say no. So
Mhm.
as I entered, so it get me the output Ali 12 male and no.
Hmm.
So simply I can modify my print statement, like I can write, let's suppose if I want to show any string, so definitely I need to put quotation.
Mhm.
So here I can write like name of a person is, then I can separate is name.
Hmm.
Okay, and then here,
Age of the person. Okay.
yes,
If you want to put
age,
the whole thing,
yes,
detailed information.
age of the person is age,
Right.
then separate it, age, and so on. If you, I believe you can understand. So let's say if I enter uh, age, let's say 23, gender male, an extra class, let's say, oh, yes. So name of person is Ali, age of the person is 23, male, yes, and so on.
Mhm.
There is another method. How can we modify it? So if you observe, so it sometimes it get difficult to put quotation mark again and again, then separate it by using comma. Instead of using this method, we can use printf method. Like we can put f,
Mhm.
then open quotation just for once. Then we
Mhm.
can write anything like the name of the person is. Now I
Mhm.
need to call the variable where I have stored the name of the person. Okay, so the variable name is as name. So I can call it in curly bracket. So
Mhm.
I need to call the name.
Right.
Okay, so I can write and the age.
To make the whole sentence, like the
Yes,
full
we
sentence.
can make. So we don't need to separate it by using comma, and we don't need to make a quotation again and again. We can use just once.
Right.
Okay. So,
Right.
and the age of the person is. So what should I call here?
Age
Age. That then I can write and the gender of person is
is what was the I didn't see. I can see it. It's
gender.
gender.
Gender,
Yeah.
then we have extra class.
Extra class. Okay.
Okay, so we can call the gender, yeah, and then we have
Extra class.
then extra class. We can write anything like whether it takes class, yes or no. We can write just extra class. Then we can call the variable as we have created like extra class. So now if I run it, so it's asking for the name. Let's say if I input my name back and your age is 23, your gender is male. Let's say extra class, no. So the name of person is a bad and the age of person and the gender of person. So as we entered person again and again, so can you tell me if I want to call the name of the person instead of a person, like the name of person is Obed, then the age of person here instead of person there should be the actual name, like the
Mm.
age of Obed is 23 and the gender of Obed is male. Can you tell me how can we do so?
We can change the name from the next sentence. We can just change the person, right? Or no?
Right. And the age of the person here.
I'll
Yeah,
change age of Ubaid is
by
eight.
calling the variable as name,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And here the same, wherever I
Okay.
have write the
Okay.
person like name, because I want to show the actual name of any person.
Right. Right.
So yes, we have done. So now run it and name, let's say any name John,
Mhm.
and age is 14, and gender is male, extra class, yes. So the name of the person is John and the age of John is 14 and the gender of John is male. And extra
Mhm.
class, yes. Okay. So this is how can we uh make any we can say data, or we can create different variables here, and if I can write any string with the combination of different variables. This is how can we do so.
You're right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. So now if I ask you, so can you make me a program? You can take different numbers input and you can print it like addition, subtraction. Can you do so?
I mean, it will take me forever. Can we just let me review one more day, and then I can give you next class. Like I can, like as I have to. Really, I'm totally forgotten. What you're saying is like coming back to me, but it's taking time. So when I next class, I'll just literally go through everything, and then I'll show you one of them, if all of them.
Okay,
It's gonna
no.
just waste my everybody's time. We're gonna think and think.
Okay, no problem. So till now we have discussed variables and how
Right,
to print uh, output. Then let me check what we have
yeah,
discussed in
right.
previous classes.
Yeah, that way. So now, then when I go through them, I'll remember all of it.
Okay. If I write, let's say, I have written as this is Python class.
Mhm.
So can you tell me what gonna happen if I run it?
This is Python class with just hashtag.
Yes, this is actually hashtag. Now let
Um,
if I run it, so nothing is happening
right.
because
Hmm.
it is supposed to be a comment and it does not
Right.
run with the code. If I remove the hash
Mm-hmm.
and if I run it, so definitely it's gonna uh,
Show error.
error. Yes.
Right.
So let's suppose we want to show anything on our output screen.
Right.
Sorry, not output screen, on our code screen to understand
Okay.
the code better. So we can write hashtag. This is called
Okay.
comment in Python. Okay.
Did we learn this? I don't remember this. Forgot. Or I might have totally forgotten.
I have told you this also.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot them.
Okay, no
So
problem.
we put the hashtag. It calls what? What is it called? You said again?
Comment. Comment.
Comment. Okay,
Yes.
comment.
Okay.
Comment.
So
So when do we use it? Like to show something? When do we use it?
when we have to define the code on the coding screen, let's say if I take a number as
Mm-hmm.
input, let's say number one,
Mm-hmm.
then I can take input. Also, I can define here as an integer.
Okay.
Okay, I can write it as integer input.
Uh-huh.
I can input a number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I know I am taking input as integer. Let's suppose there is a person who doesn't know what is happening in this line. So simply I can write a comment and I
Mm-hmm.
can uh, tell my user or
Advice.
any
Okay.
taking,
I see what you're saying. Okay.
yes, taking input
Mm.
as integer.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay.
Now it makes sense. Why would we comment
Yes, I
to?
can write any comment. Let's say if I print my number one,
Mm.
so there is no effect of this comment on my output screen, so it's not gonna give any error. Let's say enter any number 45 and I get a number 45.
Mm.
So I can write any comment like taking an integer. Let's suppose if I want to take another number,
Mm-hmm.
let's say number 2, let's suppose here I take a float number.
Mm-hmm.
I can write sorry, not integer, input.
Mm-hmm.
I can write input a float number. So because I know I am taking a float number, but let's suppose
Mm-hmm.
any third person doesn't know, so I can write taking a float number
Mm-hmm.
to telling him what is going to
What is
happen.
supposed to happen? Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
so okay. Then I can print it and so on.
Yeah.
Now you got the point. Why do we use the
Yeah.
comment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then we have discussed the strings.
Mm.
Okay, so let's suppose I can create a variable as okay, sentence. Like, so I can make any sentence. Hello,
Mm-hmm.
today we are like that. Okay. So let's say if I want to print my sentence, definitely I can call the print, sorry, I can call my variable as sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And simply I can run it. So here I can get the answer as hello, today we are learning Python.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the indexing?
Yeah, I remember the word index. Yeah, I kind of remember. I think.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Go
Uh,
ahead and
for
answer it.
example,
Uh-huh.
in a school, in a classroom, every student has a unique ID number, or you can say roll
Right,
number.
right,
Maybe some students have the same name, but
right, right,
their
right.
ID number must be unique or different.
Different.
Similarly, we have same letter like L and L. Also, we have O,
Mm-hmm.
different. Uh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but
Now I remember the
it
level.
has, but the string have the different index number for every
Yes,
one.
it starts from zero, right?
Yes,
Zero.
it starts from zero. So let's suppose if I want to print the first,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
so I can call the index number as zero. So for zero,
Right.
it get me the
That's the first one.
H, the first
Mm-hmm.
one. Similarly, I can
And we use the third bracket, the four, the straight bracket
write, we can use the
format.
square brackets.
Mm-hmm.
So let's suppose if I enter the 8, so for index number 8, there is D, this one.
Mm,
Okay. Also,
yeah,
I can set the limit. Let's say if I want to print my string from index number 1 up to uh, index number 10. If I run it,
mm,
so here I got
yeah.
ELLO and
Semicolon part, I was getting confused with the comma. Yes, I remember the semicolon was used somewhere.
yes, you can
Oh,
remember by practicing.
yeah, yeah,
Coding
yeah,
coding needs just practice.
yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, so
So
we
if
I
I
remember.
yeah, if you remember, if I count here from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So empty
Yes,
space also holds
it's also a count number.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So
Right.
we have index 10 at Y, but it
Uh-huh.
didn't print the Y because the
Uh,
last number is does not supposed to be counted as when we are
okay.
going to print.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay. So the last number is excluded.
Mhm, mhm.
So if I want to print Y, so definitely I need to set the limit up to 11. So here is
Right.
the 11 uh,
Oh, okay. Mhm.
today.
Yeah.
Let's suppose if I don't give the start value and I take it as empty,
Mhm.
so it's going to start from the beginning. Okay.
Begin. Yeah.
Let's suppose if I give the start value as let's say 3, and
Mhm.
if I don't give it any final value, where should it stop?
It was at the end.
Yes,
Just that.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna work for the end of the string.
Right.
Let's
Mhm.
suppose if I don't give any start or any end value, so
Have the
it's
whole
gonna,
thing.
yes, exactly the whole string.
Mhm.
Also, we have discussed, we can set the number of steps. Let's say it has to start from the 0, and
Uh-huh.
it has to stop at like index number 11. Sorry,
Okay.
index number 11. But I
Huh.
want to skip one character.
Ah, yes.
So
I
by
remember.
default, yes. So what can I do? So I let's say I can give the number of step as 2. So as you
Mm-hmm.
can see, by skipping the numbers, it's gonna like it's a start from 0, then skip E, then
Mm-hmm.
it prints L, then skip
Mm-hmm.
the other one L, then print O, then skip
Mm-hmm.
the empty space and
Skipping every two words, right? Two
right,
letters.
2 letters.
Okay, so, but the two is has to be at the end, not in the between.
Yes, in the
Right.
end. So it is supposed to be as the number of steps, we can
Right.
say.
The end. Mhm.
Let's suppose also we can use negative indexing. Let's say
Mhm.
there is a if I, let's suppose I count what should be the index for the last one, so it could be difficult. So let's suppose
Mhm.
if I want to print the last, so I
Mhm.
can give it as negative number as indexing.
Oh,
So
okay, right.
nothing is on our screen because there is an empty space.
Mm,
So also empty space holds an index. If I remove, now if I run it, so now we have the n,
mm,
right? So
right, right.
we can use the negative indexing
Uh-huh.
from if we want to print the string from the end.
Uh-huh.
Also, we have discussed how can we reverse the string, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's suppose if I gave it the value that it should start at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first is supposed to be uh, and it should end as 1. Now
Mm-hmm.
let's just try it. Does it work or not? So nothing is going to happen
No.
because the start value should be small, right? The start value should be the,
Oh,
yeah. So
smaller than the.
yes, exactly. So definitely, let's say as we have discussed, if I put my indexing as empty, so it's gonna print the whole string.
Mhm.
So to, sorry, to make it reverse, what can I do? I can give it number of step in negative.
Okay.
The first here, my cursor is, it's supposed to be the first limit as it is empty. So it's gonna start from the beginning and the
Uh-huh.
so this one is also empty. Let's see here DDD. So it's gonna work for the end of the string and the minus one is the number of step. So it's
Right.
so it start from the end of the string.
Oh, okay, okay. This is gonna go opposite.
Yes. So now as you can see the string is the in reverse order.
Basically, -1. You just have to remember -1 and those colons one by
Yes,
one.
minus one. This is called sorry, I don't getting the point name.
Mm-hmm.
Let's suppose if I write as madam.
Right. It's gonna be the same.
Yes, exactly. It's gonna be the same because this start and the last and the
Last is
order
same.
is same.
Right. But we just have to remember -1.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we have discussed. Do you remember the concatenation?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the name, but I remember we did that a lot actually, concatenation. You mentioned it many times.
This is called string slicing.
String, oh, slicing, right?
Yes, I forgot the name. So this
Slicing,
is string slicing. So
slicing, right?
the concatenation, just we have discussed in the beginning of the lecture.
Right. That was in the
Co-
beginning, yeah.
no, I'm talking about the concatenation we have just discussed in the beginning of the lecture. If you
Oh, did we?
remember,
Oh,
yes, I
that's
didn't.
why I remember the kind of similar, like I remember it many times. You explained it many times actually,
Yes.
concatenation.
Okay, if I give you the example, let's say mm, I'm taking as A equals
Mm-hmm.
2 and
Mm-hmm.
B equals 4, then
Oh,
if
right.
I print A plus B, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
2 plus 4 equals 6.
Mm-hmm.
If I put it under quotation, now if I run it, so it's gonna 24. So it just
Mm,
concatenate the two numbers. It just combine the two numbers.
right, right. That's called combination, right?
Yes, because the 2 and the 4 are supposed to be a string.
Mm-hmm.
For a string, if we are using the plus sign, it is supposed to be concatenation. For
Right,
the number, and it is supposed to be addition. I
right.
can also uh,
Mm-hmm.
like any string like hello,
Mm-hmm.
we can hello and
Mm-hmm.
hello world. So it's gonna just combine together. Hello world. If I want to give any space, so here hello world, I can modify my string. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we have discussed about let me just check what we have discussed. Okay. Uh, then we can modify our string as, let's say, I print as a dot upper. So do you remember what's gonna happen?
Oh, uppercase and lowercase or something like that, right?
Right, uppercase.
Yeah,
So the every letter in uppercase. Also,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can use the lower if my string in uppercase. So I can use lower. Let's say. So it's gonna
Do
work.
we still have the A and then dot, right?
Yes. A for the variable.
Hmm.
If
Oh,
I
acha, A for that.
A for the
Right, right.
variable,
That's
if I write
okay.
here as WRD word,
Right,
so
then we have to do
definitely
word,
I need to call the variable as word
word and dot. No,
dot
okay.
because I want to change my word that is a variable. I
Right,
want
right,
to
right.
modify whatever is stored in a word. Okay.
Mhm.
Also, I can use
And we
uh,
just need to put the two bracket, like there has to be a bracket in the middle, right? There
yes,
has to be. Okay.
one for the print statement and one for the lower. Let me just tell you again.
Yeah.
Let's say we as we write print, then open brackets. Okay. Then I want to modify the string stored in word, so I need to call word. Then
Hmm.
enter a dot.
Then
Let's say
lower
I
upper.
want to upper, so definitely I
Upper.
can use upper. If I put it as upper, so
Yeah.
it's gonna built-in method upper for string. So definitely I need to use uh, brackets,
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
empty bracket, so it's gonna work. Hello world.
Uh-huh.
Also, I can use as for lower, as we have discussed. Here is another for title.
Okay. Yeah.
For
Above.
title, can you observe what happened?
Yeah. Yeah. The first word, the first
Yes,
letter of
the first letter of each word in uppercase.
right, right, for title. Mhm.
And let me just. Okay. Did we discuss the strip?
Discuss what?
Strip.
Mm, maybe I don't remember if you just say it, maybe I'll remember. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Let me just. So what it returns actually, it removes the white space from the end strip.
I think you said that. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So this is how can be removed. Okay. And then yes, we can replace our values.
Okay.
Like obviously I have to work on word, so definitely the word should be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So now I need to replace, so I can call a replace
Mm-hmm.
method. Then what should I replace? Let's say I want
Oh,
to replace W.
right.
Uh, it should be under quotations because it is a string.
Uh-huh.
I want to replace W with let's say H.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
So here is hello hold. So the
Yeah,
the W is now replaced with H.
yeah, yeah.
So the first one, what we have to replace, and the second word, what we have to replace to.
The quotation.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then, okay, let me check what we have. String concatenation, and then we have discussed. Then we have some escape characters.
Mm.
Do you remember what the escape character
Uh,
we have discussed?
Not exactly.
Okay. Let's say, um, I can give the same example we are learning. So just before I have told you, let's say I want to put the Python under quotation,
Right,
and if I run it, so definitely it's gonna throw an error.
right.
So
Yeah,
the
because we
one
have,
solution is I can use the other quotation.
right,
I need to print it. Okay, so if I run it,
mm-hmm.
so here we are learning Python, the Python under quotation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but let's say I need to use the same quotation,
Mm-hmm.
like a single quotation. So what can I do? So I can use the escape character just before the quotation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and here the escape character just before the quotation. And if I run it, so as you can see, it's not going to be any error. As here you can say it was throwing an error like index,
Right.
invalid syntax. But as I used the escape character just before the quotation I have to use, so it's not
Oh,
going to throw any error. So
right, right.
also we can solve this problem by using escape character.
Right. Okay, okay, okay. That's
Then we have discussed another escape character
mhm.
that was for new line. For new line, we can use \n.
Oh,
Now, if I run it, so as you can see, learning Python
oh,
in the next line.
next line. Okay.
Let's
Oh,
suppose there is no space between V and R. So I can use escape character as T. T for tab. So as you can see, hello V, and there is a big empty space between V and R.
oh,
So
tab. Okay.
yes, we can use the tab.
Mhm,
Then we have,
mhm,
I think we have discussed the three escape characters.
mhm.
And also we have discussed the booleans. Do you remember the booleans, what exactly are?
Booleans are like
True,
variables that,
true and false, the values.
right, true and false. That's right.
If I print, let's say, print 2
Mm-hmm,
greater 4.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So 2 greater 4, is it true or false?
It is false.
It is false. Okay, so as you can see, it gets the answer as false.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, this is the concept of or and not. We will discuss it later. Do you remember or and not?
I remember you saying it, but yeah. I don't remember exactly.
Okay. So booleans are true and false values. Let's say if I
Hmm.
2 is less than, let's say, 4.
Right.
So
It's
it's
true.
gonna true.
Right.
So simply true and false, as we know the meaning of true and false, simply the same in Python. And we can use the true and false in different concept. We can practice it by
Hmm.
making different programs.
Right.
Okay. So
Hmm.
let's suppose uh, we can choose it as bool.
Hmm.
Uh, B double L bool. Then I can input, let's say, any string A, B, C.
Hmm.
If I run it, let's say what happened. So nothing is happening.
Hmm.
Let's say
Hmm.
if I print it,
Hmm.
I print bool A, D, C, whatever. So it's gonna true.
Hmm.
Okay. So I am going to check what should be the value of Boolean if I enter any string. So as you can see, for any
Hmm.
string, the value is true.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If I entered any number, let's say any big or small, doesn't matter. So for the number, also this is true. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Let's suppose if I put it empty, for
Uh-huh.
empty, it's gonna false.
Okay.
If I input an let's say 0, so
Uh-huh.
for 0 this is also false.
Okay.
Let's suppose if I open and close just empty quotation mark, let's see what happens. So and when we have nothing in quotation mark, so it's supposed to be empty string. For
Right.
empty string, this is also false.
Okay.
Okay, so we can conclude that when we have, let's say, a valid in value, let's say any string, let's say AWPL, apple,
Hmm.
we know it should be under quotation.
Hmm.
So it's gonna true. And any
Hmm.
integer or float values, let's,
Gonna be false.
no, it's gonna be true.
Oh, okay. Right. Right. True. Yeah.
It could be any like integer value, so it's gonna be true. But
True. True.
if we enter any 0, so it's gonna be
Hmm.
false.
Okay. Just zero.
Yeah, this is the concept of Boolean values.
Hmm.
Okay, so we can continue in the next class because
Okay.
the class time is over. Okay,
Right.
so
Okay,
also,
then I'll go practice everything because I have to
yeah,
go through everything.
yes, because you must need to practice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's important. I didn't get a chance, but yeah, I
Yes,
will do it.
also you can go through the videos available on
Yeah,
playlist. Till
yeah, I'm
then,
gonna actually do that.
okay,
Okay, thank you so much.
okay.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz, take care.
Yeah, you too.